Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and today's video is about how to make a tattoo stencil on an iPad. The app I'm using today is Adobe Sketchbook. I use an iPad Pro in combination with my Brother thermal printer to print a dark and detailed tattoo stencil. I will be going through what all is important in this app. So when you download the app from the App Store, you can find it here or you can type in Sketchbook and you'll get the app. This is the logo for the app. And once you click it, it will bring you to this interface where you can select in you want to draw a new canvas, do you want to open your gallery, do you want to share the canvas, and some settings page. So I always use this with an Apple Pencil, and what you have to make sure is that the pen mode should be on and your pen should be Apple Pencil. You have a couple of options here, but always make sure that the Apple Pencil is selected and the pen mode is on. When you press on the pen mode, your fingers won't be working on the paper or on the canvas. And when the pen mode is off, you see how accidentally we can touch the screen. So I always switch on pen mode. Now, whenever we have to prepare a tattoo stencil on an iPad, what we do is we go to New Sketch, and this is the dimension of the canvas that you're selecting. It is very important that you select an A4 page here because ultimately, when you have to take a printout of that stencil, you have to take it out on an A4 sheet. All the discussion about size is done when you take a printout on the A4 sheet. So many people go wrong here. They select any size or the size from the preset. I would recommend you to type the width as 1240 and the height as 1754. Now you see this is actually a A4 paper. This is the this is the exact size on which you need to draw so that you get the equal amount of resolution and detail when you take the printout. Now to import a picture, so we go on to this image icon, the plus icon, and we can select the stencil that we want to make. So for this video, I'll be making a rose. Now this is the A4 paper. We can resize it as per we want. So for this video, let's assume that we'll be doing the rose of this size. Here you can see if you have rotated the image, you have to make sure it is at 0. Only if required, only if you want to tilt it, you should change the rotation. Otherwise, keep it at 0. And the scaling also. It is very important that you don't overscale or underscale an image. So for the purpose of this video, I'll be doing it like this. And then you press done. What you can also do with this app is you can go to this transformation icon, you get this option, and from here you can skew the image. Let's go back. We again go to this option, and here you can flip the image. You can flip it horizontally or you can flip it vertically. Here is the option to rotate it, but with degrees. So like this or clockwise. So after we imported one image, here is our layer. We can close the layer and we can open the layer. We need to add one more layer above it. Also make sure that you lock the bottom layer. And again click on the top layer. And now whatever you will draw will come above it. For example, when you close this layer, you still have this thing. Now you see how you can zoom inside and get all the proper details while making the stencil. So I prefer to use this pencil. It's basic pencil. You can change the size of the brush from here or else from here, you see. To reduce the opacity, you can use this part. But to make a stencil, we need 100% opacity. Again, we don't have to make stencil with a black line, otherwise we won't be able to see what is underneath. For the purpose of making a stencil, you go here, you choose the color, and prefer to choose it either red or purple. I prefer to choose my color as red. Now whatever I'll be making, it will be over top of the rose layer, and if I want, I can close it and see further things. Another tip, a very good tip is to use a predictive stroke. So when you open up Predictive Stroke, the algorithm of the Sketchbook app calculates how you have made the line and it softens it up a bit so that you don't have any crooked lines. So we'll switch on the Predictive Stroke and keep it to a third number. We can now decide what size of brush do we want to use. So I prefer to keep the hardness around 3.5 when I'm using on an A4 paper, like this. So now let's start to make the stencil. I'll be using my Predictive Stroke at 2. The process of making the stencil is same as a pen and a paper. The plus point that you get is a zoom in option, and always you can reprint the image again and again. When you make stencil with a pen and a paper, you can use it only once or twice, and after that the paper is destroyed. This way you have the data with you and you can reprint it and use it again. Another thing that I like about this app is I get pressure sensitivity. That means wherever I want to have a very thin line, I can do it with a light pressure. And wherever I want a very bold line, I can do a bit more of pressure and attain that thickness. I can do a bit more of pressure and get the same thickness that I want. This way I'll be doing outline of the whole rows and then marking my shaded areas. So let's quickly finish the outline. When we make a stencil by hand, we accidentally do a line wrong. But the best part about this app is also that you can go back. If you have done any line wrong, you can always go back and recorrect it up. There are times when we make stencil with a pen and a paper and we have a problem that the small areas, for example, the paper is of this size, we are not able to achieve very thin lines into super detailed areas. With an iPad, we have a benefit of zooming inside and making all the small details. For this, we can reduce the size of the brush and quickly do all the details. Our outline is now ready. We can always close the rose layer and see how it is turning out to be. Now it is time to add all the small details and the shades. So we use the same pencil and make a dotted line on the areas where we have to shade. Like this, you can make a dotted line and mark the areas wherever you have to shade. Now let's quickly do it all over the tattoo. So now we have done the shading and the outlining of the rose stencil. We'll quickly close the bottom layer and see. Yes, this is a perfect stencil. Now that we have done the stencil, we can go to this option, HSL adjustment. What is HSL? H is for hue, S is for saturation, and L is for lightness. Once we click it, we can reduce the saturation, and this is the stencil. Now we can save this from the share option, and here is the option, save image. Now when you go to your gallery, you will find this. So here is the image. Now we can transfer this image into our Photoshop app on the computer and then adjust the levels and take the printout from there. I hope this tutorial was beneficial for you. If you have any questions related to how to make a stencil on iPad, feel free to ask in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more upcoming videos. See you in the next video.